Hi, this is Glenda. I've been watching a few people lately make faux brick walls because there's a company that's brought out an embossing folder, and so I thought since our next paper mates is on faux finishes, I'd do some faux bricks. I don't have that particular embossing folder, and this is basically you don't have to have an embossing folder. You can get a reasonable result if you don't have all the tools to do machine embossing. So I do have one embossing folder, which is the Tim Holtz one, and I got a result like this from that. I was playing with actually inking the grout, which is something you can do if you've got a folder, because I inked up the folder, and it's mixed results on that one, but that's because I haven't used it for a while. But on these, all I've done is use a scoreboard. So I think you'd have to have a scoreboard to do it, but you know, that's one of the early tools to get if you're a new crafter. So I've done one with the traditional sort of spacing, where the lines come halfway between on the bricks, and then I've done a couple that's a bit more like the folder. Probably this one's the most like it, where I've the next line down is not in the middle, so yeah, this is probably the closest to what it does. But I thought it's reasonably obvious, but I'll show it anyway. So I've just got my piece of cardstock. You can decide which way you want it to go. Your first set of lines are your horizontals, so if you want it to go that way, you're going to put it this way on your scoreboard. If you want it to go up that way, then you're going to do it the other way. Hope that makes sense. So I'm going to go down every ½ inch reasonably firmly. Don't want to tear the card, but you want it to make a good impression. And then you're going to turn it around and come back, and every inch just down to your first score line. And then decide how far across you want it, whether you want to put your next one in the middle or move it across a bit. So on this one I'm just going to come across a fraction, not a whole halfway, and just do the next lot. So it's what's that, 5/8 across from the previous line. And of course it's much harder to find your lines when you're filming than it is when you're just sitting here on your own quietly crafting. Then the next row down you're going to come directly below again, so on the ½ inch mark in my case. And when you come to the end, put it back again and do these long lines again, because if you've gone into these lines at all with your verticals, it just looks better if you've pushed them back again on these lines. It just doesn't make a lot of difference, but it made some. So then turn it over, and if you've done that one fairly well, but if you've got any little bits that go down too far, just rub them out now before you start inking. Just got a couple. They'll still show a tiny bit, but nothing drastic. And so I think that's most of them. Bit of scrap piece, just put under my work surface. And then you're just going to ink it up in any colours that you like, with the indent facing down, because you want the mortar to be the lighter white colour, or at least I do. If you were going for a Halloween or something, if you did it on the other side with the mortar sticking out, it would be more like the inside of a brick wall. And I don't know, maybe you could do something creepy with that, but I don't do Halloween, so that's not going to happen. So that's just a pumice stone. But just play around with any colours you like and any inks you've got. And you're basically just going to keep colouring it. So then I've got some wild honey. And you can be far more careful if you want to, but honestly at the end of the day I doubt it really matters. And that's walnut stain. And some vintage photo. And as I say, make it any colours you like. So that's my faux brick. These were all just very slight variations on the colours I used. These ones were pretty much that. And after I trimmed it down to the size I wanted, I just sponged the edges to give it a bit of definition on those, and I didn't on that one. So that's faux bricks without an embossing folder. Thanks for watching.